This is Dr. Rosie Kuhn, and this podcast series is called Spiritual Immersion, Taking the Plunge. And the intention of this series is to support and empower people to see how they are actually being in relation to their spiritual self, their human self. And in this particular podcast, this particular one, I want to kind of focus on that element, the practice of skirting around our spiritual work. And what I mean about that is that quite often, and I've had more often than in before, I've had people who have come and requested some coaching and support from me because the work that they're doing, their spiritual practices aren't working, in a sense that they're not feeling the sense of equanimity, the sense of peace, the sense of connection with their spiritual self. They're actually having more challenges in their life, more anxiety or panic attacks, or more fear or more uncertainty, and reaching out more for addictive substances perhaps than before, or addictive behaviors, or just trying to find relief. And it's because so many of us really don't have a sense of what is spiritual work. What the heck is it? And so we do meditation, and we do chanting, and we do oming, and we do yoga, those kinds of practices. Maybe we do some medicine work, or maybe we do all kinds of reading or listening to other people. The spiritual work is, what do you do with that? You're in those states of being, but how do you cultivate an awareness of it in such a way, or the elements of that in such a way that you actually can carry that into your life, in your everyday life? You can integrate those practices so that equanimity you might find through meditation or yoga is not just at those moments, but that you're experiencing it all the time, or most of the time. So this is a dilemma for a lot of people. Like, why is my spiritual practice not working at keeping me in a state of well-being? And it is because, from my perspective, part of the challenge is that it gets scary to begin to do our work as human beings that leans into that edge of spirituality. So, for instance, this is an example of, I've had a new aquarium, and I've been setting it up, and I got some new fish, little tiny fish, and some shrimp. And I got them about 4 days ago, and they're kind of stressed because it's a new environment for them, and they're getting acclimated, and I'm getting acclimated. And something big is coming up for me. In a sense, I start to feel this panic that these fish are going to die. And that panic is way out of proportion to the experience of what's happening in that tank. So that experience I'm having, that level of panic and the degree of fear and horribleness, is something that's being coming up so that I can work with it. Now, most of us will try to fix it, heal it, or skirt around the issue of what's causing that degree of, I'll say, trauma in my life. It's like, it's been horrible the last few days because I've been in the midst of this terrible, horrible feeling. So what most of us do is we distract ourselves. We go get something to eat or drink, or we just all different ways that we try to distract ourselves, when the fact of the matter is the spiritual part of this practice, the spiritual immersion part, is saying, okay, I got to go in and be with this part that is feeling so horrible with the prospect of these little tiny shrimp dying. And it's my fault, and all the responsibility piece, or irresponsible, or neglect, or ineptness, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. All of that plays a role here. And every single one of us on the planet have these kinds of experience sitting within us that are just waiting to be exposed, explored, and released. And it's hard work because it brings up past traumas, past griefs, past losses, past mistakes. It brings up stuff that is really hard to be with, but is essential that we acknowledge, because otherwise, if we don't acknowledge it, we tend to judge ourselves or other people for the way that they're being in the world. When we begin to do this work and come into it with all the intrepidation that is, but explore it with wisdom and courage, something happens, something shifts, something reveals itself that you may have forgotten or never realized. Quite often these kinds of processes bring up unresolved grief, unresolved or unfinished business within ourselves or with other people. So it's really important. It's all there is, from my perspective, is to, when we get triggered in the present moment with what is, we go, oh, I'm triggered because that's something I haven't finished yet. I haven't dealt with. I haven't completed yet. And I want to think that I have finished everything. I want to believe that I have done all the work I need to do on the world, on the earth, and I'm, a pure and compassionate, kind being. And the fact of the matter is I haven't done all my work, and I don't know that I will ever. I don't know. It's not mine to know. But that place where I have more work to do, and it feels really uncomfortable. It feels really horrible. I feel really inept and inadequate. All those feelings, all those emotions, all those human experiences that we want to skirt around, especially the uncertainty of where it's coming from, when it's going, how long I have to be with it, what's the outcome, what do I get out of all this? All that stuff is part of this spiritual immersion process, those questions, the uncertainty. I have a friend, Elizabeth Sabet, who does beautiful energy clearing and energy clearing from past lives or all kinds of dimensions, and it's just exquisite work. And part of me wants to call her and go, hey, just fix this for me. Just take this away, make this go away. We do this with medical doctors too, don't we? And psychiatrists. And it's like, just give me medication so I can get past this or around this and skirt the issue, because I don't want to feel it. It feels so terrible. But the fact is, it's mine to feel, just like what you've got to feel, what you've got to be with is yours to deal with. And anyone and every one of us can skirt it for as long as we want, and we can do spiritual bypasses by saying, oh, I know this theoretically. I know this cognitively. I've read the books. I've listened to spiritual teachers talk about this. I know this stuff. But until we actually be in the experience of the human spirit self that is struggling or challenged or having this emotion, we're not in it. And the direct experience is the only way that we can move through these experiences, as in heal them and create wholeness within us. It's a purging process, it's a detoxing process, it's a going down and in again and again to clear and be present to all these human experiences that most of us want to ignore and avoid and deny and distract ourselves from. But the more that we avoid, deny, distracted, and the other one, the other word, the more we do that, the more we're skirting the issues, and we keep minimizing our abilities and the depths of our spiritual development. So that's pretty much it for today. I would love it for this is big work, and again, many people who are doing their yoga and their meditations, it's taking them so far, but it's not taking them to the deeper levels of themselves. And I believe some of these elements of the pandemic we're in right now help to, is a catalyst for us going deeper and having to deal with the issues that we're trying to escape or avoid, ignore, deny. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave comments and or email me at rosie@theparadigmshifts.com. I have a lot of different books on Amazon, and it'd be great if you wanted to take a look at them there, or on my website, theparadigmshifts.com. You'll find a lot of information there as well. All right, big hugs to you. Bye for now.